Welcome to the Web3 Writers. CD Demiscio, your host. I'm joined by Riona Morgan, Edward Carpenter, got Odd Writings here, T. Dylan Daniel, Cryptoversal Books, E.R. Donaldson, Musashi Easy and Crypto, Indefatigable, Authored Style, Wanshu Yu, Daniel Creed, Philo Boston, or Phil of Austin, however you want to say it. And I just want to say good morning to all of you. It is such a pleasure to be here. Edward Carpenter, I know you came with something specific today. How are you?
CD, I'm doing great. I came actually with a lot of stuff, but a lot of it is kind of background. So I guess I'll give the teaser that I'm hoping to do some, one of my big things is collaboration and cooperation versus competition. And in my new job title as the business development manager over at Twig, I'm seeing in this room a lot of potential for some of that. Looking at what different platforms and projects bring to the Web3 writing community, and what the Twig project can potentially offer. Had some really great conversations last week with some folks who are building on the development side, story protocol, and really enjoyed the T2 writing contest that many of us participated in last December, and I'm going to be hoping to maybe get another contest going over there, or at least another territory going. So it was on my to-do list today to reach out directly to Wanshu, but here she is in the room. So yeah, really, I'm just here kind of soaking up the knowledge, but I'm also going to tease that I'll be dropping a new Meta Librarian Minutes in the next probably week or so, to kind of roll up what happened to those old projects that I used to write so much about, and what am I really excited about coming up. I think that's it for me, but I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and soak up the knowledge.
That is a lot. I want to say hi to Wanshu Yu. We love having you here. I know the time zone difference is hard. Wanshu, how are you? What's going on with T2?
Hi, everyone. Am I coming through okay? Yeah? Oh, great. Awesome. Thank you. Nice to see everyone. It's been a while, and things are going very fast at T2N, so I can barely have any social life. So that's my life. Yeah, and really glad to see you, Edward, mentioning T2, and I'm glad you all enjoyed the Friends Who Write writing contest. And I have some surprises for you all, and you're probably the first one to hear it. And Friends Who Write is going to be announced tomorrow again for season 2. You're definitely the first batch to hear about it. And it will go from 1st March to through the entire month of March. And this time we're going to increase the prize pool to $12,000, thanks to Lens, our partner for this event this month. So yeah, watch out for the announcement. And I hope to see Web3 Writer Union again.
Oh my God. You heard it here first, you guys. That is amazing. Okay, so the teams, I think last time were limited to 6 people. So we have Web3 Writers Union, but we want to encourage you guys that are not in Web3 Writers Union already to maybe form Web3 Writers. I don't know. What do? They do a city. We can do like football teams. Manchester Web3 Writers or something. Definitely keep your eyes open for that. We will, of course, retweet and amplify that as much as we can so that everybody can hear about it, because you aren't our competition, you're friends, and we would like to compete against you.
Also, just to add to that, this time we're going to add in a territory race. So you can actually launch a Web3 Writers territory and compete against other territory.
It gets better. Competition among friends is great. Just remember, we're all friends. Don't get nasty. Looking at you, I don't know. Everybody here is so nice. I can't even point somebody and pretend that they're not nice. I'm looking at you, Odd Writings. No nasty palindromes.
I'll have to keep my nasty palindromes deep within, ready to burst forth, and yet still held secretly.
Oh my God. I've got tears rolling down my eyes right now at that thought. Hey, is T. Dylan Daniel still with us? I want to get you back up on the stage, dude, because yesterday you came into the PageDAO Discord and you said that Kane Mayfield had you in tears. And somebody needs to invite Kane Mayfield into this space, by the way. I was going to do it, but I didn't get to it. So, Dylan, I just sent you an invite. You got to tell us what this is all about, man. Okay, so when you can start talking, just start talking. I know sometimes it takes a second to move in the space. Easy in Crypto, how are you, man?
Hey, super glad to be here today with y'all. Hopefully my audio is coming through. I know it can be a little ruggy up here. But yeah, so exciting. Having, been with PageDAO from the beginning, really, and on this wild ride, and having not been as active over the last year or so, 6 months, it's really awesome to just see that you guys have been holding it down so solidly. Big shout out to everybody up here and the people as well. So yeah, I'm just super excited to be getting back in the mix and kind of back in the saddle. So excited to be here with you guys.
You guys, I apologize. Easy, I could not hear you at all. I think I've been rugged, and I'm going to ask Riona Morgan to take over because I don't want to step on people. So, Easy, I didn't hear you at all. And Riona, I hope that you can take over as host at this point because I don't want to step on people when they're talking.
I did, Easy, hear you, and CD, yes, that's fine. I can definitely jump in. And so, Easy, I'm so glad, and I'm so happy that you've been with PageDAO since the beginning and that you're still with us now. So wonderful, wonderful. And so let's see, Dylan, are you able to talk yet? Are you able to jump in and share about your experience yesterday?
I am back.
Yay!
What was
Go for it.
which experience in particular? I feel
When
like
you
there
were
were
talking
many.
with when you were talking with a particular someone and got a little teary-eyed. Tell us.
Man. Yeah, well, okay, so yeah, since a long time ago, we've had a plan to try to work with Kane May to, basically bring some of his writings and his lyrics and stuff, and put that on chain. And anyway, we were kind of commiserating about the bear market a little bit, and we're listening to his new album, which is a remake album that I think he did back in 2016. And basically, one of the things that they've done is they've taken representations from the Bitcoin blockchain and basically incorporated that into the album in a couple of places. So we were going through there, and I was just like, "Holy fucking shit! This is the coolest, thing." And I don't know, man. I'm just overwhelmed these days about I just things are going well. I feel like we have the chance to do the thing that we started this project to do back in the day, and it took us a long time and a lot of work, and that's maybe part of the reason it feels so all the time, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I'm super excited about that. I, in fact, jumped in and looked him up last night and I was like, wow, yes, this sounds so amazing. This sounds so amazing. So I'm going to see if CD can jump back and join us. If not, I'll lead us to our next topic. I want to give him an opportunity to see if he can jump back in.
Well, I just wasn't able to hear Easy for some reason. I heard you and Dylan okay, but I was afraid that I'd been completely rugged. I see your heart, so I think you can hear me. Yeah, you guys may remember last year Kane Mayfield came on Web3 Writers Hour, and I have to say it was the absolute funniest Web3 writers that we've ever had. I mean, all of us were just rolling. I think it was Colin the Crypto Ocelot and Kane Mayfield going back and forth about English food, and it was just amazing. I'll see if I can dig out the archive and maybe we can put that up somewhere. But anyway, Riona, I'm just going to let you go ahead and run with it. Go for it.
Okay. So our next topic is actually something I was able to attend a meeting this morning with our friends at Alt Labs, and they introduced us to another writing contest. And so this seems to be a theme of the hour here, and their total prize pool is $9,000 in UST. And so I've shared it through PageDAO, and I'll go in and grab it and put it up in the nest so that you can start investigating it and looking at it and seeing how you would like to be involved. But really, their big prompt or their big theme or their big idea is opt out of a system that doesn't represent you. And so this really is a situation where we get to talk about the world we all are building together. And so it's just going to be, I really think, a lovely place to interact. And you can just enter now, and it talks about the submissions open January 9th and the submissions close October 9th. And I feel like that I haven't been able to look into it, but it looks like that there's 3 different contests, 9 different topics. And so it's so exciting to be able to think about it and look at it. And so I will definitely share it around. And so besides Wanshu and besides this Alt Labs, do we know of any other writing contests where writers can get involved? Does anybody have any other knowledge? Because I also have one for Vagabond Magazine. It's not a contest, but it is a call for submission. So I'll share that as well. But Edward, yes, please jump in.
Yes, so Twig is getting set to launch a couple of month-long, basic mini NaNoWriMo type contests that are going to have, I think, a $100 internal prize pool, something like that. But when I say internal, it's obviously we're encouraging more writers to join. So there are already several sort of, kind of like we were for the T2 contest. There's already several groups in kind of with the Twig community that are either, revolve around communities themselves or just, a bunch of writers who write together. But we're going to encourage more people to come and join, compete for the prizes. And I'm actually in the process of writing an email to Wanshu because originally kind of conceived, I think, as a NaNoWriMo sort of thing where it's just going to be judged on word count alone. But as soon as I heard of the idea, I said, hey, this is the perfect thing to use time points for, because time points allow you to capture not just the quantity of the writing, but the quality of the writing. So it ends up just being something that happens on the Twig Discord, or whether it ends up being something that we get to integrate with T2, which is one of my favorite emergent platforms. That will be a opportunity, and that prize money, whether it's internal to Twig or whether it's as part of a greater thing, that will be above and beyond anything that anyone else is offering for writing done in the context of creating your story, your novel, your poetry collection, whatever your goal is in the 1 month period that each of these next contests run.
Hey, I just want to jump in there real quick and let Kane Mayfield know you joined the space. You requested to speak. I tried to add you a couple of times. It just would not work for some reason. So if you do want to get up on the stage, Kane, just drop out, come back in. We'll see if we can get you up on the stage because we'd love to hear from you always. And we're super happy to see you here always as well. Cryptoversal Books, I wanted to ask you something actually this week because you've been paying a lot of attention on Farcaster and what's going on there, and there was a writer's NFT or a book NFT that launched that you mentioned the other day, and I wonder, can you tell us about that? What is going on with that?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's the most exciting thing. Farcaster is exploding with innovation, with frames and people exploring ways to present content. And on Sunday, I think it was Sunday morning, pretty much out of nowhere, this collection dropped that was book themed and reader themed, and it's a collection of all different kinds of book readers holding up their books, reading their books in a variety of genres. And there are I think there are 500 total. There were 100, then there were 420, and then I think eventually there will be more added to the collection till it rounds out at 500. But people just went crazy for them. And the books and reading are like the hottest thing on Farcaster at the moment, and it is so great to see, and it is such a positive community, and people who are just focused on something that they enjoy, and it's called the Outcast collection because you're off by yourself reading, you're an outcast, but also playing on Farcaster. But then you're part of this community of, we're all in this together. We all have a passion for these stories and for these books. And so sort of repurposing the term outcast as being a inclusive community. community, and it's really exciting. I was really happy to see it just come out of nowhere and just take off. It's fantastic, and the collection is doing really well, and the floor price went way up, and then it went way down, and as they often do. But it's um, it really is, and it's on base, so there's you don't have to worry about gas fees transacting them, and it's just a bunch of really nice people, and just gelling around their books and about their book readers.
So that's it. Sounds so cool. I looked at the art. The art looks really good too. Did you get one?
I got one, and they're all one of ones. They don't have traits, and so they're some of them are more cyber themed. The one I have is sort of like a glitchy, cyberpunky one that I really like. But there are more like classical ones, and modern, contemporary ones, and there's some really nice art, and the artist. Summit, it seems like a really nice guy, and yeah, everyone's involved that I've seen in the community seems to be really really nice, and it's really good to see.
It is really good to see. We've touched on this before, but maybe our community, Web3 Writers, maybe we should collaborate together and put together a PFP collection or something. Maybe just throw that out there. What do you guys think about that idea?
I'm in 100%. 1,000%.
Yeah, I think it's something that's been mulled around a little bit at Paged Out too and stuff, and it'd be super fun. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'm in.
100%.
Shout out
Oh my
Nerdy
gosh,
Traits.
look at that. It's getting unanimous. Okay, well, it's going to take some time and some figuring, but I think we can do this. That would be awesome.
I think I'm in, but only by 94%.
Wait a minute, you didn't say that as a palindrome. In by 94%, 94% buy in.
By the way, I wanna say real quick, give a thank you to Wanshu. I'm very happy right now because there's a new territory on T2 that I'll be the admin for, thanks to Wanshu, and it's the Ulipo territory. And so for those of you that like goofy things like palindromes and various writing constraints, that's what that is going to be about. So right now I'm very happy, and I'm thinking about different people I'm going to be inviting to join T2 in order to participate in that. So that's top of my mind right now. I'm a happy person.
It's amazing. All this talk of writing contests, and then you're bringing other things. It reminds me. Are you guys familiar with the Bulwer Lytton writing contest? Have you guys ever heard of that?
Not me.
Okay, you're gonna have to look it up. So the Bulwer Lytton contest is like the opening for a novel. It's a contest for the worst opening for a published novel that I think happens every year, and it's based on the opening was I can't remember what the novel was, but it was by Sir Bulwer Lytton or something, and it was a dark and stormy night. The fire was burning. It was a dark and stormy night, or something like that. You guys have probably heard that quote before, but it's one of the worst openings to a novel ever, and that's what the Bulwer Lytton contest is about. So hopefully none of us will ever win that. All right, so summarizing, we have covered Page Dow and the fun things going on there. We got to hear that Kane Mayfield brought T. Dillon Daniel to tears without even physically touching him, which I think is a good thing. We want to say that's a good thing. We also talked about a number of writing contests. We talked about the possibility of doing a PFP for Web3 writers. We talked a little bit about Farcaster and what is happening with the outcasts there. Edward brought a ton of stuff. We got super early alpha from Wanshu today about 2 and the contest that is happening there. What else have we missed, you guys? What else needs to be brought up on Web3 Writers this week?
I can jump in and talk a little bit about the topic that we talked about last week. Sorry about that. What book has profoundly impacted your craft? This is pinned up in the nest. It's a call for submissions for Vagabond Media Group. If you would like to be involved in that, the information is all embedded within that tweet, and you can just jump in and talk about it. And CD has actually already posted something on the Vagabond Media Substack, and you can go and visit that and see that and be part of this series if you would like to be. That would be wonderful. We would love it.
Thank you for bringing that up. And I try to keep all the VM and Vagabond Media stuff in the first half, but I do want to say, you guys, that if you have a piece about digital citizenship or a piece about what it's like to be an early person in Web3, which all of you are, or about writing for Web3 or writing for crypto or blockchain, we would love to see it. We would love to see your work. We would love to share your work. We would love for Vagabond Media and Vagabond Magazine to be the platform that gives your voice amplification. So reach out to us. We are always open to submissions, and our next issue is coming in mid-March. So you have a little bit of, but not much. So if you want to get something in the next issue about digital citizenship, about Web3, about what it means to be living in this time and an early adopter to all of these technologies that we're all, loving so much, reach out to us. Myself, Riona, E.R. Donaldson, Quanta, Cryptoversal Books. Reach out if you have a high technical thing to Indefatigable. He may get back to you, but I know he is very, very busy right now. But yeah, we're all here for you. And that's the reason why we do this, because we love words, we love Web3, we love tech, and we love people being able to liberate themselves from the bonds of corporate networks. Oh, I just got political. Hey, I want to make a book recommendation to you guys. If you haven't picked it up, if you haven't read it yet, if you haven't ordered a copy, Chris Dixon, who is one of my favorite technologists of all time, he's an amazing person. He has an amazing philosophy towards works and towards code and technology. He has a new book that's come out called Read, Write, Own, Building the Next Era of the Internet. His name is Chris Dixon. And if you guys get the chance, grab this book. Pick up the audio book or the Kindle version. I got the hardback version because I like getting first editions of awesome books. It's not disappointing. I'm about halfway through it, and he is blowing my mind by making clear a lot of things that I suspected and knew were happening, but I didn't necessarily see how and why they were happening. And that ties back to my corporate network comment.
Yeah, I'll echo that. I also just picked up that same book, a little behind in the reading part of it, but a couple of recommendations for those of you who have some driving time and listen to things. Balaji Srinivasan has some really interesting podcasts. That's where I found Chris's book and a few other interesting reads and listens about kind of network states, building DAOs, and radical self-improvement, both at the societal and individual level. So if you're not checking out Balaji, he is an interesting character, and his discussions, I think he said 2 of them with Tim Ferriss, are both also really worth the 2 or 3 hours to listen to those massive episodes.
Wow. You know what, Edward? I am probably not going to listen to a 2 or 3 hour Balaji and Tim Ferriss podcast, but did you have any takeaways from those conversations that come to mind?
I did, and this is just really quick, but that there are kind of 3 versions of capitalism. There's the American version, there's the Chinese version, and there's an Indian version. And that another idea is that people who look at the current state of the world as, everything's kind of going downhill, the good times peaked in the 90s, that's a Western perspective, but from the perspective of many people in other parts of the world, the future is what looks really bright, because they're coming from a darker place perhaps in the past. There's some really interesting stuff about how nations invent their mythologies. One of the top selling movie, I think, fairly beat out by maybe Spider-Man in, I think it was 2020, it was basically a kind of a, what was that? Saving Private Ryan. It was like a Saving Private Ryan epic war movie called, and it was about the Battle of Frozen Lake. And it sounded really familiar. And I was like, I know what that is. It turns out it is the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir, but told from the perspective of the Chinese soldiers. And the American Marines are the bad guys, and MacArthur's the bad guy. And it's a very legitimate perspective, and it was a massive, internationally, in terms of views, influential thing, but just didn't get any playtime in the West. So I worked for an Indian general one time who said, where your viewpoints depend on vantage points, and where you stand in the world depends on how the world looks to you. So those are just some of the quick takeaways, I think.
Web3 Writers is brought to you by Vagabond Magazine and published on Apple Podcasts through the Substack app. You can find all the episodes on Apple Podcasts or at vagabond, vagobond.substack.com. Our theme music is composed by the amazingly talented Paolo Argento, brought to us courtesy of Pixabay. You can find the link in the show notes.
Whippy! Aloha.
Aloha.